Good afternoon, fellow Site-42 staff, and welcome to another edition of Office Hours with Dr. Sherman. I'm here to answer all of your very favorite SCP questions to the best of my ability. Sheeny, Drowsy, Rosie, good to see you guys in the chat. Thank you for being members. Hello, hello. Architect, I'm the site director. Obviously, I have clearance. And of course, you guys would not have clearance to see the stream if you were not fellow Foundation staff members. Now, not all of you work at Site-42, but that's okay. We don't judge too harshly. But I am here to answer questions to the whole of the SCP Foundation. So if you've got questions, I've got answers. I've got certain people in the chat, of course, who are confused about their employee status of working at the Foundation. Some of you may or may not be double agents who are just being awoken, sleeper agents, if you will. And so, welcome. Your orientation packet is under your chair. Welcome aboard. Also, I was just alerted to a very funny SCP tale on Twitter by SCP author Calibold, or Calibri Bold, for not short, the opposite of short, for lengthen. And that tale is called Everyone Knows. And it turns out that, well, I'll let you read it. It's very funny. It's a tale about how many people actually work for the Foundation and other groups of interest. If there was a worldwide population census of the Anomalous in this universe, well, it's a little unexpectedly vast. So everyone knows is an SCP tale I read today that I highly recommend. Thank you to Calbold for telling me about that. Amber, good to see you in the chat. And I'm glad you read that too. You saw that tweet. Good one. And Rowan, thank you for being a member and good to see you. Sarkic Cult versus Marshall Carter and Dark. Well, Director, various estimates of Marshall Carter and Dark's employment numbers is very shallow. You know, they're the 1% of the 1% of the 1%, and they're only an anomalous auction house. I actually saw a great breakdown of this. There was a post on Reddit. I know, you and I both know. And they were a legitimate auctioneer of some sort. And they did a breakdown of the auction industry and what the, Oh, no, it's not on Reddit. Oh, it's not on Reddit. We're safe. They did post this on the wiki. I was wrong. I am so sorry. I accused this wonderful writer for the SCP wiki named Anonymous to accuse them of being a Redditor. That was cruel. I should not. We are cold, not cruel here at the Foundation. So anyways, here they tell me, or they tell all of us, via the wiki essay they have written, that there's not really likely a lot of auction houses, and there's not nearly likely a lot of staff. It looks like the smallest version of MC&D would average about 25 anomalies per auction, 3 auctions a year, and more likely somewhere around 450 auctions a year, or 450 anomalies a year. And if that's the case, I mean, you're not an auction, you know, there's so many patrons to an auction. You'll see like 50, 100 people show up for an auction, but it's only got a staff of, what, 5 to 10? You've got the auctioneer, you got the people moving the stuff. I don't think you would count the caterers. I assume they would fire those out. Long story short, the Sarkic cult is a lot more people, Director. And therefore, it would be very easy for Marshall Carter and Dark to be overrun by a group of a religion, basically, that also is more likely to do battle because Marshall Carter and Dark aren't exactly combatants. Desk, I agree with your back end skipnet message incredibly well. I think we might just need to suit up for such an occasion. And so, yes, I am feeling much, much better than yesterday. I've still got a tad of a headache. The painkillers will do their job. But for now, I am here for office hours. So tell me about your days. Tell me about your SCP questions. Ooh. Elephantian, I know the Foundation has many umbrella companies, but can you list some? Umbrella companies? Is that a term I don't know about? I know about shell companies. I know about front companies. An umbrella company is one above us, right? An umbrella company is a company that employs agency contractors who work on temporary contract assignments, usually through a recruitment agency. Interesting. That being said, oh, wow, chat, why is it doing that? That's confusing. Let me check something real quick. Yeah, that's active. Interesting. Anywho. Site 42 from Shadow VR. Good to see you. Thank you for being a member. If SCP-096 look at a reflection, will he kill himself? By the way, love your videos. Well, I'm glad you enjoy the videos. And no, 096 knows what it looks like. Therefore, it is not exactly mad when it itself knows. So no, a mirror will not cause it to reverse attack itself. Rosie, thank you for your first donation to today's stream, as well as being the first donor in general for today. Thank you very much. Make sure to grab yourself a hot chocolate on your way past the commissary. Doctor, we've had a breach at the site I'm in. SCP-8803, my one, has breached. Requesting a mobile task force. The enemy is hostile and dangerous. Yes, if I understand correctly, your universe has an 8803, while ours doesn't. Which puts us in a bit of a pickle, because I don't know exactly which mobile task force would be more suited for your situation. So I'm going to send a page to your security director and have them get back to us quick with which exact force you would need. Otherwise, we can just send a general task force. Oh, I'm seeing some great questions. I just need to catch up. Jack Owen, thank you for your first donation to today's stream, as well as remember to get yourself a espresso lemonade on your way past the commissary. What would happen with SCP-2200 during daybreaks? 2200, otherwise known as Solberg. So, funnily enough, the bonded entities with Solberg, aren't they turned into metal or something? Hand of another individual and bonds with them. Blue light level direction, composed of alloys. So the sword is silver and copper. Human individual bonded with the sword. Cannot separate themselves from the sword. When the instance dies, it relocates to another hand and bonds with them instantly. The sword can travel any distance. Appears to likely belong with subjects that share a similar set of traits. See document. Between 15 and 45, physically active, strong fear of death, negative view of what happens after death, Psychological and emotional instability. Oh, great. This is the area, like, formed into anomalous silver-based alloy. Despite being made of inorganic material, instances are fully animate and capable of vocalization. So it is my 50-50 guess that because they are inorganic, the Solbergians might be immune to when day breaks. But I'm going to double check something on the database. $2,200. That's cute. But not the information I needed. All right, well, there is no data for such an interaction, but I'm going to guess due to the... So, my assumption, based on this little bit of research I have, is that when day breaks, our bunkers and our buildings survive that. So while it turns organic material into flesh monsters, the bunkers and such are not destroyed by the sunlight, which tells me that inorganic materials like silver, steel, and all that might still survive. And so I think the Solbergians would honestly be fine. And this is a... First of all, Desk is personally congratulating you for your question in the background. So I hope you know that you have made Desk proud. And that is something where it might actually be fun to go behind the scenes and talk to the author of When Day Breaks and see if I can get a little bit of an answer. So I'm going with the hypothesis that the Solbergians would survive it. But, of course, that would mean that their town might get overrun by flesh monsters, so that wouldn't be great for them. But, yeah, that's cool. Good question. Desk, you're telling me that mass and size manipulation is this version of 8803's anomaly. So if that's what we're doing, we don't really have anyone for shapeshifters, do we? Do we have a shapeshifting mobile task force? Let me know, Desk. I'll be watching your notifications as I go to the next question. I saw a great question. Where'd it go? All right, well, I'll go for here. Shadow VR asks, thank you for being a member. There's a VR game that is for money that's an SCP game. Well, that's not shocking. People make a lot of games about the SCP wiki. But I know that some SCP VR games exist. And it's not a problem if they cost money. It is a very little known, I guess, facet of the Creative Commons that you are allowed to monetize SCP projects when you release it, as long as you release your version, allowing people to use your work as well. As long as you follow the terms of the release, you can monetize your work. And, I mean, that's what Site 42 is all about. We're trying to build projects. Ad revenue isn't exactly great, but it is what it is. I like helping SCP game devs and filmmakers raise funds so that they can have reliable income for that. But yeah, you're allowed to sell your work. The hardest part about it is just that Creative Commons-wise, because anyone can reuse your work, people will just take it for free. So you need to figure out a way to gain an audience that will help you, because you're not going to be able to do it alone with Creative Commons. Oh, that's what it was. That's the question that someone asked me, and I can't find it. So I'm sorry to your name, I don't know. But somebody asked me 100 men versus SCP 2006. That's funny. So very much like the entity Rosie is dealing with, SCP 2006 Too Spooky is a shapeshifter. Now, its primary form that we see most often is the monster from Robot Monster, and it is a gorilla with an astronaut helmet. So that's its basic form, but its goal is to scare humanity. And so it becomes anything that will cause fear. The problem with that is that it thinks we're all afraid of B-movies, and God's help us, let us keep it thinking we are afraid of B-movie monsters, otherwise it might do something actually scary. A great example of that happening, if you're unfamiliar, is an SCP anthology last year. Okay, you can still hear the crack in my voice from yesterday. Oh. Not so much the crack, the gravel. So in Anthology 2024, it was the first article. The first article was SCP 8066, codenamed phobia. And it is a example of SCP 2006 getting wise. And oof, it's not good. So, pardon. And so, yes, long story short, if we do end up with an SCP 2006 versus 100 men, its ability to shapeshift is going to give it the advantage. It can shapeshift into anything. It'll turn into Godzilla and squish 100 men. So, let's just not try that. Derek, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Go grab yourself some tacos on your way past the commissary. Always support Site42. His mobile task force, last I heard, are using water guns. Gotta do better. SCP-343 versus the deer, another god. Who does 05 have money on? Well, appreciate the support. Oh god, the water guns. To be fair, that was for SCP-457, okay? When you're fighting a man made of fire, you use water guns. That's just good technique. Let's not take this out of context, okay? SCP-343 versus the Deer God. Oh, man. I feel like extraterrestrial. I have to re-research the deer, which is SCP-2845, because I know enough about 343 to know its capabilities. So we have a whole ritual to stop this thing. Transmutation and reconstruction of matter. No matter is created or destroyed in this process. Transmuted matter. Directed transmutations against attackers or obstacles. Typically, these transmutations are a column 5 to 7 meters in diameter and 6 to 8 meters in height. Okay. So, my feeling is that 343 has more reality bending as a way, as a management of reality, whereas the deer is transmuting things inside of reality. So I think I'm going to have to give it to 343. Amy, finally I didn't miss a live. Congratulations for not missing the live. Thank you for being a member. Zeirdrin, Thank you for being a member and being in the chat. And I didn't see Chell's plot twist. Oh. Oh. You are my father? Is that what you're telling me? What universe is this? My father is alive. He's not behind the veil. He doesn't know what I do for a living, but he's out there. I know who he is. This is not some mystery reveal. At least I hope it's not. That's going to be a big Sacre Blue moment right there. I'm putting my foot down. This is the third time someone has forgotten to feed me, so I'm leaving this box. Consider this the beginnings of a peaceful protest. Oh, it better be peaceful. I can't imagine that commissary deliveries would have that much of a trouble reaching your cell. Although we did put you in the far wing last time, didn't we? Well, we'll have to get rations organized. I'll send another memo. We'll clean it up. Don't worry and don't cause a fuss. Desk is telling me, on behalf of Rosie's question, that Mobile Task Force Beta 777 Hecate's Spears are a magical-based thaumaturgical combat troop. Lambda 5, the White Rabbits, deal with reality benders. So they would also work for a shape-shifting entity, one way or the other. So, Rosie, it looks like you're in good hands. Jack, thank you for donating again. What would happen if 2200-1 killed an SCP-001-A? I'm going to need more information, Jack, because which SCP-001 are you -Aing? There's so many 001s, I don't know exactly what you are speaking of there. Sheeny. Thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself, I guess, a cup of coffee on your way past the commissary. Had some time to think. Homsar is far more anomalous, I'm assuming you mean, than Senor Card Gauge. I mean, he was raised by a cup of coffee. You know, I don't think that makes Homsar anomalous. I think it makes the cup of coffee anomalous. But I have seen what Homsar can do with its hat, so it is also indeed anomalous. That is for sure. I mean, we know Senor Card Gauge can teleport, and all of the Homsars and the Homestars have a certain level of telekinesis that they use to carry things since they don't have hands. So we know that as well. This is just basic containment procedures. You can tell right there. The When Day Breaks creature. Okay, Jack. Thank you for the clarification. So a Solbergian versus a When Day Breaks -1. I'm going to bet you that actually... Ooh, teeth whistle. I'm going to bet you that actually a Solbergian, even wielding that sword, cannot kill a -1 of the When Daybreakians. Because the Daybreakians are an amalgamate of different flesh, people, and animals that are meshing into each other. And I imagine that when they get cut, they just kind of goop out and then goop back together. So I don't think we'd actually get a Solbergian flesh creature, unfortunately. I say unfortunately, but I'm also considering what if it were like then it got turned into a Solbergian and it was a metal version of it, like a Terminator. And so I hate that. So I actually think it's quite fortunate that that would not work. CT is a weirdo. Thank you for your first donation to today's stream as well as being a member. Make sure to grab yourself some Pop Rocks on your way past the commissary. Hello, how are you and what's going on? Hello. I am doing much better than yesterday, my God. Someone asked me what happened yesterday in the stream. I saw it fly by while I was answering another question. And, oh my gosh, the amount of sick I was yesterday was unfortunate. We didn't break the streak, though. We still have streamed every day, almost for a month. So we're doing good so far. But I've still got a little bit of a headache going, so this might be a shorter stream, but I'm getting by a lot better. Part of the problem is my own voice is so damn loud, and so I give myself a headache when I keep talking. Damn theater kids, no control of vocal volume, always speaking with the caps lock on. Sean, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself, for that donation, you need to go grab yourself a steak, potato, and greens dinner at the commissary. Hello, Dr. Sherman. I'm a big fan of Stephen King and his various creatures or anomalies. Well, you are familiar that Stephen King once got hit by a car. Just something to think about. Sorry if you've gotten this question before, but what are your thoughts on containing the It creature from the OG book or movie? Ah, yes, Pennywise. The creature from It. Let me pull up a little database entry here. All right, loading abilities. So the thing about It that's most important is its abilities are perception-based. And so if you see it as weak, if you see it as not something worth being scared of, it weakens it. And we have a lot of those perception-based anomalies that are more powerful because you believe they're powerful in containment. So we would need to quarantine the town. We would need to send in people who we have informed should not be worried about the anomaly, and they can trick it into being weakened so we can contain it. That would be the situation. I'm seeing a Nadia should be said hello to. Hello to a Nadia in the chat. Rainbow, thank you for subscribing to Site 42. Welcome to our staff. Additionally, when it comes to the It entity, as Sheeny points out, having adults deal with it and getting the kids out of there would make life easier because it wouldn't grasp onto the fears so thoroughly. Another way of weakening its hold. It's a bit of a trick, but I'm not worried about Pennywise. Rosie, thank you for donating again. 8803 is showing above average aggression. Its other anomalous qualities are manifesting. Requesting assistance sooner. It's not far from my location. Lock down your office. Hit the panic button. Security is on its way. Rainman, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a peach on your way past the commissary. Director, SCP-173 is not affected by being viewed through cameras. So, if it's in a room with a bunch of sleeping people, it will soon be in a room with a bunch of dead people. Denise, wait, is the Site 42 being a 42 a reference to Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy or just random? Don't forget your towel. Always be prepared. Oh, there was a question I saw that I liked, and now it's gone. Where was it? I may have made 169 into my personal pet, and he's a good boy, especially around other pets. They like him so much, the other pets stop making noises. Why do I feel like you are killing animals? That's the first thing that comes to mind when I read the subtext of your... Yup. Huh. Marine arthropod of enormous size known as the Leviathan. You know what? At this point, some of you are so weirdly obsessed with owning these specific highly dangerous SCP anomalies. I think my next ploy to fix the budget shortfall is going to be to open up the front company Super Cute Pet Store. And the Super Cute Pet Store is where we are going to sell SCP anomalies to be used as pets. And that'll just solve all our problems. Everyone will buy an SCP-939 or an SCP-131 Super Cute Pet Shop. Boom. There's our budget shortfall in the bank immediately. We will be able to hire so much more staff. Dibs on Josie. I can't fight dibs. I heard dibs, and there's only one Josie. Seamus, thank you for subscribing to Site 42. Welcome to staff. Dihydrogen monoxide, thank you for being a member and for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a big bag of Halloween candy on your way past the commissary. Can I borrow $3.30 for Halloween this year? People keep taking too many candies. You know, that is quite rude. I don't like criminals who act in such ways. And so, oh no, that's not the SCP you asked about. That's in fact terrifying. You see, you asked for the bowl that literally gets people in trouble for stealing too many pieces of candy, but I accidentally, instead of 330, I typed 3307 because that was in my previously viewed anomalies list. And so I went to cornucopias, which, yes, if they want to take more than one piece of candy, make it come out of 3307's you-know-where. And that will dissuade them as well. You know what? This is a perfect plan. No one can complain about that. Well, except for the people who are obviously going to complain about that. Random Fandom, thank you for being a member and welcome to today's stream. Hi. As a basic researcher, do you get paid better fairly as site director? Yes, we do get a little more compensation if we are promoted to site director. It is a managerial position, but you still get plenty of time to do research and other extracurriculars as well. As you know, we are slightly understaffed because of everything that's going on in the anomalous world right now, so we have to all carry multiple jobs to keep this place running, but we will keep this place running. Rosie, thank you for donating again. Dibs work. Dibs on 682. I have a plushie of it. Listen, 682 is one of those ferals that I'm going to need to see proper... you're going to have a proper interview for adoption to see if you're capable of managing this son of a bitch. But maybe you're the one who can tame the beast in this case. Good luck. Dude, thank you for subscribing to Site 42. Welcome to staff. Who would win? 169 or 096? Honestly, I think the Leviathan is just too big to have to worry about 096. The size of the Leviathan makes me feel that it would essentially, 096 would be a flea trying to burrow, a tick, in fact. Because between 2,000 and 8,000 kilometers, yeah, no. 096 is a tick trying to burrow in. It could go all day. It's not going to get anywhere useful. I doubt it. Hey Doc, hope your stream goes well. Thank you, Richard. I hope whatever you're doing today goes well as well. It's certainly going a lot better than yesterday. Jeremy, congratulations on joining as a level 1 researcher our Site 42 staff. We appreciate your service and your membership. Pterodactyl Dude, Dr. Sherman, can I be your personal pilot in case the site goes to hell? I would appreciate having closer access to the surface. Well, while I appreciate the offer, I might be worried that Clef would get jealous if I had access to a pterodactyl. So I don't want to step on Clef's toes. I know that... I know what happens when you get on Clef's bad side. So I appreciate the offer, but maybe you should offer that to Clef instead. Ticketman, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a hot dog on your way past the commissary. Do the iPods trigger 096 since they freeze 173? Well, we haven't tested it because we don't want to lose the iPods, but I am assuming so. I assume they are sentient enough to stop 173. They would be sentient enough to activate 096 as well. So we're not gonna. That would be mean. Rosie, thank you for donating again. I'm good with animals, even ones said to be a-holes. That is important because 6A2 is the highest of a-holes. A highest tier, not like... high like 420-J. Thoughts on the 100 men versus gorilla? Joshua, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself some junior mints on your way past the commissary. So, thankfully, I don't need to get really down into the muck of this because both gorillas and humans are not anomalous. So this is not within my purview of research. Neither one of these are SCPs or anomalous. That being said, if I had to wager a guess, the way that humans are built versus the way that gorillas are built, I have to maybe hand it... You know what? I have just one question. Obviously, a gorilla can take out one human with ease. How long can a gorilla fight before exhaustion? Thank you, Google. Gorilla is not an endurance athlete like humans, meaning it would likely tire out relatively quickly during a prolonged fight. A gorilla could potentially fight for a few seconds or minutes, but would likely become exhausted much sooner than a human. The gorilla's strength and speed could allow it to overpower a few humans initially, but sustained fighting would likely lead to exhaustion. So already... yeah, a gorilla can do a big burst of strength, but simply... yeah, if a gorilla can only last 2 or 3 minutes in prolonged combat, then the gorilla is going down. That's actually cut and dry. Yeah, based on the fact that a gorilla can only go full bore for a couple of minutes. I mean, how long do gorillas fight in the wild? I know they don't actually... I've never seen a gorilla fight that like is a knockout drag-out brawl for a while. It's always a quick in and out, hitting back up, hitting back up. Yeah, no, I believe... I mean, the one problem with that is still you need... the humans need to be able to hurt the gorilla. And it's a very thick hide. It's a very big monkey. We can get the eyes and the sensitive areas. I guess that's enough with 100 people. I'm going behind the people. I think that's that. I think mankind, once again, is the most dangerous beast. Or at least 100 of them, anyways. Agent Atles, have you ever played Fear and Hunger? I have not played Fear and Hunger, although I am extremely familiar with it. as I am a avid fan of a Mr. Eyepatch Wolf, and I have watched many of his videos and streams playing the game. So, and I've also looked up a lot of lore because it looks very interesting. And though I'm very often too busy to play games, I can listen to them on the road and be pretty happy about it. So, I am quite familiar with the lore in the game and such. Maybe I would need to play it at some point just to say I did. But I do enjoy it just based on what I've seen. Dr. Sherman, can you read me question? It turns out, Luis, I can. Rosie, good night. Thank you for joining us on the stream. Dihydrogen monoxide, thank you for donating again. 096 versus the whole of humanity. And I'm assuming this is like the no tools rules as the gorilla. It's just humans fighting an 096. Honestly, 096 is far more durable than a gorilla. I mean, we know we've thrown it into the sun and it was fine. We didn't. Another universe did, but they probably shouldn't have done that. And on top of that, 096 is not going to get tired. 096 can run crazy speeds for crazy amounts of time. It can slash and, as the Doom guy says, rip and tear. So no, 096 is taking out humanity. I think that's an easy one. It would take a very long time, but that would be that. Hellcrawler, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a fruit juice on your way past the commissary. Me again, thoughts on V1 versus Scarlet King? Oh, this is that ultra kill thing, isn't it? While I'm looking up this, Desk is saying that the gorillas have the power up from the spirit of Harambe, which would cause humanity's downfall. That is true. They could, on one hand, you could have a Braveheart for Harambe speech, and that would give the gorilla extra spirit power. Meanwhile, I saw a great meme of the last couple of human survivors getting upset when the gorilla said Harambe as its dying breath, the same way as Bruce Wayne and Superman when Superman said Martha. V1, Ultra Kill, Power Scale. Oh, power scaling. Okay. They always hurt me with this. Physical characteristics. I mean, here's the question. V1 is a robot. I understand robots. After mankind's extinction, the blood problem still persisted, which forced V1 to venture into hell for blood. Okay. Matter, energy manipulation, electricity manipulation, extreme heat, cold, radiation manipulation, attack potency. Town level, possibly large town level. Okay, well that is no. The Scarlet King is easily knocking that out. You do not get to meta universal versus a town level entity. The Scarlet King is a reality deleting deity of pure evil. So I believe that is I believe that's an easy one. Coming back to the chat. Dr. Sherman, I've told you about the black stuff on me before it spread. Now more it hurts. Nothing's worked in the ER. Help. Okay, well, if you're in medical, that's the best we can do. The darkness spreads. Now, don't let anybody tell you that we're just leaving you to rot. That way you are experimented on, and we can see what the darkness does. That is not what is happening at all. Not in the least. And if you've heard that we've done that to someone before, say in an SCP article called Hedonophobia by excellent SCP author Ori Tiefling, if you see people talking about SCP-8558 and how we left that person to get mutated on purpose to see what would happen, that's not what's happening right now. You're fine, and we're trying to help you. We promise. Dr. Sherman, please explain the class as they confuse me. Well, Fire Soul, it's quite simple. Oh no. Oh, I just deleted the chat by accident. Come back, chat. Why would I do this? All right, chat, you're back. So, what was I saying? It was object classes. So, object classes can start very simple and then get complicated. So let's start simple. Safe, Euclid, and Keter, that is the box test. If it stays in a box, no matter what, you just leave it there and forget it, it's safe class. It's fine. It doesn't matter how dangerous it is. A safe class anomaly, which is easily contained, can blow up the entire world. Very simply. But if it stays in a box, it is safe. Secondarily, Euclid. This is where we can put it in a box, but it might get out if we leave it alone, so we have to work a little harder. And then Keter means it's actually quite hard to contain it, and so we have to do a lot to keep it contained. On top of that, let me get the object class guide out. The object class guide leads to Thaumiel, which is SCPs that contain other SCPs, or sometimes it's loosened to things that help us, like something that produces amnestics. We could call that Thaumiel. Apollyon is usually, it has ended the world and it's uncontainable. That's usually what that means. Archon are anomalies that could be contained, but are best left out in the world for some reason. So that is Archon. We could contain it, but it's a bad idea. And then Ticonderoga cannot be contained and do not need to be contained, which I don't, at that point, I don't think it's really that anomalous if we can't contain it and it shouldn't be contained. Well, then what? Is it just normal then? I don't know, man. There's also the explain, neutralize, decommission, pending, uncontained. What you should do is, from there on, this is your introductory, but go check out the object classes page on the SCPnet database. Everything is written out. Popping back into the chat. Is breaches happen often? Breaches are not common, no matter what you hear. Haha, funny foundation, breaching containment. We are professionals, and so it's fine. We are good at our jobs. Containment breaches are rare. Sometimes it's because we did a test that we probably shouldn't have, but you don't make science without breaking a couple of eggs. And by the way, you didn't see that. Howdy, hey, Dr. Sherman. Office Complex 6 here. We finally got the servers fixed, except now we got a backlog of stuff to do. Well, Zachary, thank you for being a member, and good job getting things up and running. So, I guess just take a little break to rest and celebrate your victory, and then make your way to cleaning up the backlog. Let us know if you need to requisition a couple extra people for backup. What does the Plague Doctor look like under the mask? Leland, we have no idea because we can't take the mask off. It is on its face. It is glued on or grown out of it weirdly. We just can't take it off. We've x-rayed it. You can see an x-ray of the Plague Doctor's face on the SCP-049 documentation, but it's just a skull with a bird beak. Oh, dihydrogen monoxide. Thank you for donating again. The latest recontainment of 106 reminded me that I need new headphones. Could you pass that on to the people in charge of Foundation supplies? Oh, yeah, the last guy we put in the femur breaker was a bit of a trip. I mean, I understand. You just had your femur broken, but you don't have to be such a whiner about it. Come on. Yeah, we can requisition you some noise cancelers. Just be responsible with noise canceling headphones, because if you don't hear a breach alarm, that is a problem. What is your latest research towards making the tree scream? So, part of the problem with why I got sick yesterday is I had a bit of concussion from the last test. I was trying to strangle the tree, and unfortunately, when I went in for the choke, I slipped on some sap, and I ended up headbutting the tree, which unfortunately did not make the tree scream. I mean, I guess a headbutt is enough, but listen, it's embarrassing. I don't want to talk about it. Jeremy, holy hell. Thank you for your most generous donation on top of joining as a member today. I want you to go over to the commissary, knock on the counter for the beginning of Shave on a Haircut, and then when they respond with the reply, tell them, no, you did it wrong. And when they do it again, tell them, you can do better than that. And then they'll go, and that's how you know they're going to give you the good stuff. That's for you. Take it and run with it. Thank you very, very much. There is a way to kill 682, you say? Well, I'm very interested in what you've got to say about this. We would like to cause great pain and death to 682. It's the only anomaly we want to beat, so tell me something about that. And in the meantime, Kane, which do you prefer? Tell me about that. But thank you for becoming a level 1 researcher here at Site 42. We appreciate your service and your membership. Why are you so adorable when you're mad, especially when you're mad at the tree? This had better not lead to people making me mad on purpose. I already have enough problems. I already have to deal with enough insubordination and enough ridiculous requisition requests. You can't... Where am I here? I saw something. Have I ever been to SCP 3008? Yes, Glitchy. I have, in fact, visited the IKEA. I got locked in there for approximately 3 weeks, but I got very lucky to find a door out. It was not a great time. Does Site 42 have an alpha warhead? Yes, Bryson. Site 42 does have a warhead. Most sites of a certain size and containment require one. It's part of the build. And that's why we are out in the middle of nowhere in case it needs to be detonated. And that's why we have the accoutrement we have on the site, because we have to have enough entertainment and food and things like that to deal with the fact that we can't go into town like some smaller sites are allowed to. Derek, thank you for donating again. Besides the Fight Club we know Site 42 has for all the creatures contained... Shh! What are you doing? Shh! Could the Foundation contain all the creatures in the cabin in the woods? Oh, we do a better job than they did. Their entire world ended. And our Foundation hasn't messed up that bad yet. Other foundations in the world, in the multiverse have, but ours hasn't. So we are officially doing better than they are. So yes, we can handle it. And in fact, did you know about the SCP-173 Easter egg in Cabin in the Woods? Because Peanut is apparently in that movie if you freeze frame on all the cubes. Also, the Left 4 Dead tank is there too. I found that pretty funny. Ha ha, Clef. Dr. Sherman used headbutt. It wasn't very effective. You're so funny. Ha ha ha. Joshua, thank you for donating again. How would the Foundation contain Glitch Trap from FNAF? So as far as I can tell, Glitch Trap is an anomalous artificial intelligence, which means we would leave it to the AIAD. The artificial intelligence, what does that all mean? AIAD. I always forget what that third A stands for. No, I'm not looking at the stock market. Artificial Intelligence Applications Division. So we would have to let the AIAD handle it. They are the most equipped to deal with anomalous AI. As long as we stop it from getting in a physical body, that makes our jobs a lot easier. If it gets a body, then we need to try and release it. If it's a human body, we need to try and extract it through brain surgery. That doesn't seem to work very well, but it seems to be possible. Something about a Princess Quest video game. And then there's if it gets in a robot, we can just contain the robot. That's easier. Terragal, good to see you in the chat again. And thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself some apple pie on your way past the commissary. Quick question. The Maelstrom Serpent is a colossal sea monster that controls the weather to an XK-class scenario level. How would you contain it? So, when something is that big, like the Leviathan, and it controls the weather, the big question is, can we placate it so that it doesn't blow everything up? We can keep people from finding it, and we can keep it pacified so it doesn't end the world. That's really all we can do with something that large. Like with 3000, we keep it pacified, we feed it, and it stays happy and in one place. We keep 5320, we haven't found the head, but we are still keeping people from finding it proper, and so that's helping. Drowsy, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a can of Coke on your way past the commissary. Ooh, out of character tech and APS this week. Still caught this live. You did catch the live. And also, I don't know what APS is, but I know you're in tech. I know you're a theater person, which, mad respect. Yeah, break all the legs. And thank you for finding a way to join us as long as it's not interrupting everything you got going on. Pizza, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself some pizza on the way past the commissary, unless that's, cannibalism. And if that's the case, then you should grab a burger. I hope you don't get confused, but what would happen if the Foundation encountered Subject 106, the super soldier from Trepang 2, which is a video game? I am unfamiliar with Trepang 2. Trepang, that's fun to say. Trepang 2 106. Subject 106. And this is if the Foundation encountered it. So, subjects, abilities, highly adept in melee combat, so we're dealing with at very least an able situation. Oh, it's Trepang squared, I see. He is able to utilize butt of guns effectively as impromptu weapons. Okay, so guns and melee. Physical strength to snap necks about 360 degrees. One hit kill for a face punch. Superhuman strength. Prototype titanium handcuffs rated for 25,000 pounds of pressure. Oh my god. No! No! No. Titanium handcuffs? Are you kidding me? Titanium handcuffs. Titanium handcuffs. What is the actual strength of a titanium handcuff? Strength rating. A tensile force of 2,200 newtons for a period not less than 30 seconds. Listen here. The problem is, we had this problem very long ago in the Foundation. You need to read SCP-022-J, which is called mimetic metal. I'm going on a tangent. I'm coming back to your question, but for some reason, anytime people hear that titanium exists, they believe it to be this super tough super metal that's important and strong enough to do whatever you want it to do. But titanium is not that strong. The thing about titanium is it's very strong for being a lightweight metal. It is entertaining in that way. That's why it's nice for bicycles, because it's strong but lightweight. It is strong for the amount of lightness it is, but it isn't just super strong that if you do more titanium, it's going to be more strong. That's not what titanium does. And so when we had this big problem where SCP researchers would continually use titanium in their containment procedures for cells that had no business having titanium involved, because it was not strong enough. They just thought it was because it was some super strong super metal that they had heard about somewhere, and they ran with it. That's when we had tons of containment breaches, because they would continually use titanium when they weren't supposed to be using titanium. I wanted to shove titanium down their throat so they could breathe through a tube of titanium and see what it's like. It's just not feasible. There's no reason. Sorry, I'm out of drink. Read SCP-022-J. Read it and learn. First the titanium. Give you titanium balls in the face. Slap you in the titanium tits. Okay. I'm good. So, Subject 106. Focus mode, time slowing. Okay, that's annoying. Cloak mode, turns invisible. All right. It seems, starts off in an orange prisoner's jumpsuit and black gloves. Okay, so the situation would be, we're essentially dealing with Abel with invisibility and time slowing, which is annoying. But we have reality anchors, and we have, essentially we need to set up a place similar to like we do to Abel, where the site's goal is to contain Abel. So there's long hallways that we can funnel Abel into to defeat it in combat, and that would make it difficult for it to get out. We would have to build the site with the purpose of holding Subject 106 in place. But strong combatants / soldier anomalies are not new to us. So we have the technology, definitely not titanium handcuffs. 051, good to see you in the chat. Thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself some jujubes on your way past the commissary. Entry file, overseer personnel. I have a son, send help. Well, sounds like we have the new spawn replacement for Overseer 1. That's a bit short notice. Dude, did you plan on that? Did you plan on your clone being spawned so soon? You're going to ooh. You know what happens when they spawn the clone. Once the rapid aging is done and the education, you're being retired, buddy. You need to find a way against that. Otherwise, you're being replaced. Dark Fire, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a Sprite on your way past the commissary. What is your favorite phobia SCP? Oh, okay, let me look at the anthology. Oh, no, it's obvious. My favorite of the anthology SCPs from 2024, the phobias, has got to be ergophobia. Ergophobia, otherwise known as fear of work, is SCP-8980, and it is the only one from the anthology to make it onto my favorite SCPs list that I list at the end of every stream. So ergophobia is definitely it, SCP-8980. With a special mention, an honorable mention, to go to SCP, where are you? Mask photo. Once I find it, the name, it's going to be easy. I'm going to be shocked that I couldn't find it. Acrophobia, fear of heights, acrophobia. Lizard Wizards, acrophobia. 8654 is my secondary honorable mention for the phobias. Because, oof, that one is basically When Day Breaks, the sequel. It's so good. Just mad props there. Sean, thank you for your second donation to today's stream. Much appreciated. I know we've been dealing with budget cuts, but is buying out an entire neighborhood conceal an anomaly feasible? We can move it. It's just going to be really hard. No. We've been known to buy out neighborhoods and buy out residential buildings. I mean, does it need to be the whole neighborhood? Can we just buy a couple of the houses? We can condemn one of them and say there's a gas leak. Yeah, no. It would either have to be the whole neighborhood, and with housing prices what they are right now in the markets. No, we really have to move that thing. All right, send me the budgetary readout for moving it versus buying the neighborhood. I mean, if it's a small enough isolated neighborhood, it might be more resource conscious to leave it, but you'd have to, it's going to be close. Send me the budgetary details and we'll talk. Zerdrin, friendly reminder, Dr. Sherman is not ignoring you. There's 150 people in the chat and everyone has a question. He can't see them all. Just be patient. I appreciate the honor of you saying so, and I pass that message to you too. I am definitely making an effort to read things in the middle. Obviously, I'm going to give a little priority to the donations and new members because I have to thank them for their support. And I'm trying to read other people's messages in between. I'm definitely not ignoring you guys. It's just a lot to keep up with. Spicy GT, I do have a favorite SCP. In fact, I think it's 8 of them. And I always say them at the end of stream, which should be... office hours today is scheduled to last for another, at least an hour or so. If not an hour or two. So we're going to be hanging out for a bit. If you don't want to wait that long, you can cheat by donating and asking me to tell you early. Or you can simply go to a previous stream and watch the end of stream. Because almost all of them, I end up saying them at the end of stream. So you could just cheat and go there. Jeremy, thank you for donating again. Ridiculously generous, and I hope you enjoyed the good stuff earlier. Is it bad if someone has a memory of something that should not be possible? I mean, depending on what it is, it could be a good thing. It could be a premonition of an anomalous object or event or individual or entity that you are getting a premonition of so we can hunt it down. It might be great that you're giving us information like that. So please, write down a log of your memory, and we will cross-reference the database and see if it's something we have, if it's a premonition, if it's a message from something that's trying to contact you that we know about. Hopefully it's not something we don't know about. That would make it a harder search. But yeah, don't worry yet. Just put it down, and we'll investigate. Dear Dr. Sherman, we pay you to torture a tree, but talking to non-Foundation agents, I guess that's okay too. Hey. Number one, I'm being forced to take a break from getting 4521 to scream, thanks to the impact in my head that came from the last test. On top of which, remember that this chat, this stream that you are in, is only for Foundation agents. Our back-end stream through Google and Alphabet and all that only streams this to Foundation agents. So if you're here, you're family. Ha! Drowsy, thank you for donating again. Do you refer to Anomalous staff as it? Okay, listen here. We're supposed to, because all anomalies are objects, not people. So you don't give them he or she or they or neo pronouns. They are just it. You only refer to entities as its. It's in the rules. We don't humanize them, so we don't feel bad about the way we treat them. That being said, if they are allowed on staff due to their good behavior, their helpfulness, their loyalty to the Foundation, then we can kind of lighten up on that. If they are working on staff successfully, we can allow them to get by there. But that's one of the only reasons we go by that. Meanwhile, Clef says, yeah, call Clef an it and see what happens. Yeah, last guy who tried that didn't have a good day. Oh, thanks, Clef. Let's see what happens. I'll donate $500 twice if you lock me up and read this. I think I may be an SCP. I turn from a 10-year-old to a monster that crawls on its back on the ceiling with a freaky long tongue. Well, that is something that would in fact need to be contained. And so, congratulations. We are coming to your location to contain you because anomalies need to be contained and you have outed yourself. I don't know how you got onto a Foundation staff line. Perhaps you were a Foundation agent who was changed through some bad scenario into an anomaly that vacillates between a 10-year-old and a monster. Also, it could be that you are an academy member, and so you're a 10-year-old in the SCP Academy, the cadet school, and then you got anomalized. And if so, don't worry. We're gonna contain you first. Then we're gonna run some tests. We might be able to revert you back to normal. So just take a breath. Containment will be there shortly. Jeremy, thank you for donating again. The robot that was found in the desert long ago, I had a memory. I was there somehow. I saw how it was made and why it was made. The robot that was found in the desert long ago, I had a memory. I was there somehow. I saw how it was made and why it was made. Okay, that's good to know. That's good to know. So, fill out any more details you can get. There's a lot of robots in the desert. The Church of the Broken God litters some places. So we'll just have to find out which exact robot you're talking about. I would love to see how it was made, because then maybe it'll give us some clues on how to contain that thing. So yeah, continue filling us in. This is great. You're doing great. We appreciate the effort you're putting in here. This is very helpful. Sheeny says, see if they need a T-virus antidote. You're right. It does sound very T-virus now that you mention it. I had that in my head, but I couldn't put it to words. So yes, we may be able to get something from our partners over at Umbrella to see if we can fix that for them. Doctor, is it true that the Plague Doctor and the mask used to be as one to help heal those with the plague? Well, I mean, a Plague Doctor's mask was used in real life for helping people stay from getting the plague. And so they had the long beak and they filled it with flowers because they believed in the miasma theory of illness, which is that bad air makes you sick. And so if they smelled dead bodies, they thought the bad smell is what made you sick and not the germs that were inside the dead body. The same way they thought like sulfur smell made you sick or something. Bad air. They didn't believe or know about germs yet. Once they figured out germs, that made things a lot better. We have a T-virus antidote. It's called a bullet. Clef, yes, I agree wholeheartedly. But let's start with the antidote that is a medical cure before we do the one that is a deadening. Placeholder VR. I am an SCP, but my name is Placeholder for some reason. Oh, that's funny. We have a researcher, Placeholder McDoctorate, at the SCP Foundation. I believe Placeholder's a site director now, right? Site director McDoctorate? Sounds right. But anyways, yeah. So maybe you guys are related in some way or another. Placeholder, McDoctorate, staff document. Level 4 clearance, pataphysics department head. Okay, so a department head. Gotcha. Cool. Hey, Dr. Sherman, what's your favorite SCP YouTube channel? If it's an SCP YouTube channel that's not Site42, I have to 100% say Radiger. Radiger is my favorite SCP YouTube channel outside of, our own work. Because Radiger is funny as hell. Just comedy gold. So, yes, Radiger is my absolute favorite other SCP channel. You could literally say, Radiger is your favorite SCP YouTuber's favorite SCP YouTuber. You quote me on that. Thoughts on SCP-4557? He's my favorite. 4557, let me take a look. Detective Fiver, crime-solving raccoons. I am not familiar with Detective Fiver, the crime-solving raccoons. This is news to me, and I'm already entertained. Reliable containment of the entity is currently impossible, so it's a Keter class, that's right. Foundation personnel have been planted within the New York Police Department and are to report to any SCP-4557 sightings. The building housing 4557-1 has been bought by the Foundation, and access to said structure has been denied to civilians. 5 specimens of a raccoons form a singular entity in a humanoid form. Does it wear a trench coat? Does it wear a trench coat? 4 specimens act as arms and legs of the entity, biting onto the limbs of the center specimen. Ow. All specimens are capable of separating, moving of their own free will. Center specimen is capable of speech, believed to be sapient, and controls the remaining specimens through a shared intelligence. No, the entity acting as the center specimen changes whenever the entity's form is disrupted, and all anomalous properties attributed to the center specimen transfer to the new specimen. It often wears a black trench coat and fedora. Yes, it's 5 raccoons in a trench coat. That's amazing. Okay, I would very much like to read this article in my off time. I am already very entertained. It looks short enough. I might have to read this for the channel. It's got raccoons in a trench coat. It's got detectives and private eyes. I am already immensely happy. Oh boy. That's gonna make me pleased as punch. SCP-4557, thank you, whoever you were, for your recommendation. Zero Arrow, I'm looking very forward to reading that. Much appreciated. Where were we? Nightmare Star 1, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a fruit salad on your way past the commissary. Dr. Sherman, do you think hybrids are considered SCPs? I'm gonna need some more intel, because hybrids like what? Like if I think of a Liger, That is not anomalous, but it is a hybrid between a lion and a tiger. And it is unnatural in a way that it can't survive because of the rules of genetics and things like that and reproduction. But I wouldn't say it's an anomalous, no. So, unless there's a different kind of specific hybrid you're talking about, I'm going to have to say no. Clone, thank you for your first donation to today's stream and for being a member. Make sure to grab yourself a, let's say, some blue milk on your way past the commissary. Checking in real quick before returning to search for 999. Hope everyone's having a great day. We are having a great day as far as I can tell. No containment breaches. I'm feeling a lot better than yesterday. Make sure to get 999 contained properly if it's out of its cell, because someone was talking about fraternizing with it earlier, and that is a baby. I find that awkward. So let's avoid that. Jeremy, thank you for donating again. Are people supposed to remember all their past lives? So not typically. And depending on the level of regressive memory, it could be anomalous or it could just be part of the normal human psychosphere. So if you remember all of them and they're clearly memorized, then that is a little much. You might need to check in with medical in that case. Senpai, thank you for becoming a level 1 researcher here at Site 42. We appreciate your service as well as your membership. Nightmare Star, thank you for donating again. A creature that was made by a laboratory, like the SCP Foundation. Like, say, with 2 different wings. Oh, well, yes. If you are being manufactured as an anomalous creature, that is definitely unnatural, not like a liger, which can happen in nature. This is something that was made in a lab, and so that is definitely anomalous in a way that we would need to... in fact, we do have several anomalous hybrid creatures that were contained by various mad scientists. And so, yes, that sort of thing would need to be contained and classified as an SCP if we were the first ones to get to it. Daniel Dagger, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a chicken sandwich on your way past the commissary. Unfortunately for some, this message will be a nuisance. But hello again. Hope you found what I was hinting towards in your dreams. Signed, Dagger. Interesting. Well, I've heard some dream hinting has been going on, so maybe we found the source. Maybe this is all going to work itself out in the chat today. The robot was found in the sands of the Sahara. All right, that's a clarification. Let me look up anomalies around the Sahara. SCP Sahara. Civilians known to be missing alone in the Sahara are to be located and recovered before SCP-3062 causes major psychological damage or distress. 3702 is a stretch of desert in the eastern portion of the Cyrenaica district of Libya. 6011 is a circular area located in the central Sahara. Okay, we have a fair amount of entities slash anomalies dealing with the Sahara, so maybe we should investigate those to see if it comes anything to your dreaming there. Clone, thank you for donating again. Someone fed 999 Red Bull once again, and it broke containment this time. Oh, that's exhausting. Why? I guess it's not the worst prank that people have done. It's just so annoying. You're so annoying. Why would you do something like this? We're gonna be cleaning goo off the walls for days. I'm gonna tell you, if the janitors find out who did this, you're going down. Frosty, I misplaced my Red Bull and I can't find it. What should I do? Frosty, you should report to administration. They will take care of you. What does the decontamination zone do? Well, Bryson, I believe it decontaminates. You saw nothing. Jeremy, thank you for donating again. It had 5 people to control it and a reactor core. Are you seeing memories of a Voltron? A Megazord, maybe? Ooh. Oh. Oh, wait a minute. This could come in handy. I really need you to know the exact location of that and figure out if it's still around. Because it would be great for us to be able to have a backup in case SCP-514 loses a fight. If we lose the Dragon Slayer, we'll need a replacement. And some Megazords and Voltrons would be very useful for that. Sheeny, do Gundams have multiple pilots? I'm only tertiarily familiar with Gundam Wing. And I don't remember any Gundams having multiple pilots in that. I was cast as Zex Marquise in a community theater show back home. And so that wig was very frustrating. But I did get to learn how to fence for that role. That was very fun. Don't worry, Dr. Sherman. I'm on the way to help calm 999. Dagger, thank you for donating again, and thank you for taking the bullet on that one. Nightmare Star, thank you for donating again. Help, I was captured by the other guys. The other guys? What do you mean, the other guys? There's so many other guys. Is it a rival Foundation site? Are we being contained by Site 22 or something? If Site 22's got you, I mean, feel free to cause them a couple problems over there because their site director is kind of an ass. And so I would have a laugh if there were problems over at Site 42. Don't tell anyone I said that. If it were the GOC, definitely caused them problems. Wow, Desk is giving compliments for you guys' questions today. That is impressive. Desk is a harsh and cruel mister. And so congratulations on your pleasing the clef. Jeremy, thank you for donating again. My mind is burning. It was 5 people in suits, life support reactor core, flesh that lives and grows. Flesh that lives... Oh no. Wait a minute. I hate the idea of a 5-person robot in the desert that has flesh growing. This sounds to me like you're speaking of some sort of Sarkic Church of the Broken God hybrid. Which I still would like to see if we could utilize for robot battles. But I would be very worried that it would turn against us. Ooh. This is risky, but I need to know more, because this could be fun. Sean, thank you for donating again. Update, we got orders to do both. We're going to move it to a neighborhood with lower property values, and we'll be using the surrounding housing as staff housing. It'll be like moving a windmill blade down the highway. Oh, great job. That is a wonderful hybrid plan. Congratulations. Very nice. You know what? Go grab yourself a bottle of bubbly on your way past the commissary to celebrate your excellent containment specialing. You might be getting a raise in the future. Yes, Desk, I heard it as soon as I said it, but no one called me on it except you. Clone, thank you for donating again. My anomalous friend from Massachusetts wishes to report that the Global Occult Coalition are stupid, and the reason so many otherwise friendly anomalies are dangerous. Well, A, I agree that the Global Occult Coalition are stupid. That's plain as day. But also, I mean, saying your anomalous friend from Massachusetts is an oxymoron, because everybody who lives in Massachusetts is anomalous, because Massachusetts doesn't exist. In case you're not clued in to the categorization of the Massachusetts anomaly, you should look into SCP 4006, 4006, otherwise known as #Massachusetts. Because no, there is no such thing as Massachusetts. No one lives there. Nightmare Star, thank you for donating again. The Global Occult Coalition has me and made me. Oh, I'm sorry for that. They're a bunch of douchebags. I hope for a fact that you don't. I hope for a fact that you get out of there. Then we will take you for containment. We will treat you a lot better than those dirtbags will. Sheeny, thank you for what I believe is second donation today. Double check. No, this is your first one. So make sure to grab yourself big old tray of chicken tenders and fries on your way past the commissary. Not sure as I haven't seen all the series available for Gundam, and I just caught the big robot part of the discussion, but it's kind of awesome that you played Zex. The origin of most of my usernames are a reference to Duo. Oh, wonderful. Neat. Draconic Gaming, thank you for your first donation of today's stream. Go grab yourself some Eggs Benedict on your way past the commissary. Zov, thank you for being a level 1 researcher here at the Foundation for a month. The Dirt Man needs to be contained. I'm scared. We can't contain the Dirt Man. The Dirt Man's coming. Just put a little dirt under your pillow. That's all we can do. It's in the same category as the Yule Man. There's only so much we can do about the Dirt Man. Also, why are they always one-syllable men? The Yule Man, the Dirt Man. We gotta study that a little bit. Jeremy, thank you for donating again. War against flesh grows weapons of old. Robot 1 flesh versus heroes of robots. 5 people, suits, reactor, coral, fires, war, death, seal, cave. War against flesh grows weapons of old. Robot 1 flesh heroes versus one old robot flesh. Your visions are getting very abstract, my friend. The language has stopped being clear. Oh no. It grows weapons of old. Robot 1 flesh versus hero of robots. 5 people, suits, reactor, core, fire, war, death, seal, cave. Maybe we should just leave them in the cave. If there's 2 robots fighting and they're sealed up, maybe we just don't need to deal with that one. Maybe we set up a perimeter. Wait for one of them to defeat the other, maybe. Thankfully, I live in a normal state like Ohio. Oh, buddy. I'm so sorry for you. I mean, Ohio-based sites get a lot of work to work on, so I mean, at least you're never bored. I'd always rather be busy than bored. Also, Desk would like me to remind you in chat that if I ever see your donation or question and I am not able to answer it because I'm so confused, then you can tag Desk with your clarifications so that he can send them to me in the background chat. So if I don't understand your question clearly enough and you think you need a clarification, tag Desk and call it out, because with the chat going by, there's 2 of us seeing it and I'm doing a lot more over here, so he's more likely to catch it. Clone, thank you for donating again. I know that's why I keep an eye on that, friend. Well, that's what heroes do, that's for sure. Draconic Gaming, thank you for donating again. I found a recording of an SCP-5000 instance, and how does the Foundation lose to Florida people? Wow, you found another 5000 tape? I thought there was only the one. Is this your universe's 5000 tape as opposed to ours? Or is this a second tape? There's probably some great data on that if it's a second tape. I would like to see this tape. Give me the tape. Ship me the tape. Upload the data and send me the data of the tape. We need to know more about what happened there. Sheeny, thank you for donating again. Also couldn't fit in the last dono, but I know that wig for Zex had to be annoying. Oh my god, it was so crazy. I had to do the fencing in that wig, and it just kept slapping me in the face. It was still pretty cool though. Jeremy, thank you for donating again. I remember I forgot place, but the site has an arm and a broken robot. It needed a nuclear core to destroy the living flesh. You know, a robot meant to destroy the flesh could be very useful. Are these pilots in there? Are they still alive or not? Do you know? Because that could be a big boon. And the pilots could give us information on how to pilot the ship. If they are dead, we could try and extract memories. Or if they're alive, maybe they can just pilot it. Maybe they'll be on our side. This is getting good. I'm interested. The darkness has put another voice in my head. It hurts. It's telling me to kill. Oh, every voice of an anomaly in your head tells you to kill. That's like their #1 thing. Ay. Just tell the voice to shut up. They usually get shocked at that. They don't expect you to fight back. You'd have specific psychic training for this exact situation. All you gotta do is believe that you can kick its ass. I mean, researcher Talaran defeated a universe-level reality bender by punching it in the face, essentially. I mean, psychically. But yes, stand up for yourself. Don't wallow. Don't complain. Just pick up your posture and punch it in the face with thoughts or words or a fist. A fist in your brain. Punch the voice in the face. Doctor, I'm asking if the Plague Doctor SCP and the Mask SCP were one, as in some stories I've heard from 053 while in a time-bending experiment. No. SCP 049 and 035 are not the same mask. They are different entities. Now, they are known to have an association, of which they are rather mysterious to talk about, but I have heard in the database there are stories about that. But they're not the same anomaly. They've been friends. I mean, you can't even fit 035 on 049 because of the big nose, the bird beak. So that's not how it works. Guys, I don't think we need to contain the tree. It's real anomalies making us think it doesn't, and trying to make us make it scream. Excuse me. Do you know how ridiculous that is? You think the tree is tricking us into thinking it should scream when it doesn't? What kind of reverse psychology BS? Oh no, I've got the hiccups. I've got the hiccups at your ridiculous proposal. Okay. Sometimes sing gargling helps with the hiccups. I don't know if you've ever seen that strategy. It worked. It worked. Oh, bless us. It worked. Gargling the Mario Brothers theme song, in fact, cured my hiccups. I love it when a plan comes together. Amber, I see your donation. I'm just watching the chat react to my miracle hiccup cure. If Miskatonic... Oh, first, Amber, Go get yourself some cherries and bananas on your way past the commissary. If Miskatonic University was an SCP, how would we contain it? Lovecraft fandom. Let's go to the database entry on Miskatonic. So the trick here is that it is a university, meaning we're looking at a group of interest. So things like that are pretty hard to contain outright because there's so many members. Let me look at a different, this is a... faculty and student body. Yes, there's at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 staff members listed. And as well, there will be students to account for needing all of those classes. Therefore, what we're looking at is an anomalous university, which means we would need to stop people from knowing it exists so that we could stop people from attending. We would need to, hopefully... That's about all we can do, is we can try and keep word of them off the internet so people stop applying, and we can try and starve them out. That's about the only thing we could do for something that big. One anomalous person's easy to contain, but a whole group? I mean, also, because they're an anomalous university, depending on how and what they study, they might be useful to bring into the Foundation fold when it comes to anomalous knowledge. I mean, we couldn't pull that off with the Serpent's Hand because of their ideology on containing anomalies. It would be very nice to have the Wanderer's Library access to infinite knowledge in our containment journey, but they just won't go for that. But if Miskatonic is interested in stopping Cthulhu's and such from coming through, well, that's just a like-minded team right there. Some students practice black magic and have unusual classes, such as medieval metaphysics. Okay, this sounds more like they want to keep doing magic, so probably not. I imagine we would end up having some sort of accord with them to keep them quiet, similar to how certain magical schools are kept secret from the general public in return for being left alone. Oops, I just ordered a t-shirt for that university. Come on! We can't contain these things if you're buying their merchandise. Think, Amber. Think. Jeremy, thank you for donating again. I remember it all. The people died, but I remember everything about it. Know how it works, how to power core. Looks like, and how to make the core of said robot works. Well, that's good news. I like the idea that you know how that thing works. Now, if everyone in there is, all the people are dead, that means that we can scavenge this. So let's send in a team. If it's underground, of course, we got to send the mole rats. We need to make sure that there's no flesh that's going to get loose and cause a big problem. So send a team that's able to deal with that as well. Yes. Yes. New giant robot for the Foundation Gundam battles. I like this. Your prophecy is coming in clutch. Finally, some good frickin' news. What about SCP-835-JP? It's contained by merch. Well, Dr. Pepper Dragon. That is interesting. I'll have to go look at that real quick. Also, since this is your first donation of the day, make sure to grab yourself a box of Girl Scout cookies on your way past the commissary. That's right, we have Girl Scout cookies year-round at the Foundation. You're welcome. SCP 835-JP. Why is it not coming up? There we go. SCP-835-JP is a female assassin named Kateru Yamiko, who targets Foundation employees. Anyone who is aware of SCP-835-JP's appearance will not be killed by her. To make all Foundation employees aware of her appearance, SCP-835-JP has become a sort of Foundation mascot, appearing on multiple Foundation posters and supplies. Oh! Well, that is a wonderful plan. I am glad that worked. So let's just go to the main database entry here, get off the laconic. You know, it is particularly silly that there is not an image on the website archive of the database for 835-JP. If you're going to have an article that it specifically needs you to know what it looks like, put the image on the database. I mean, I guess it's fine if we have the posters everywhere. Still, better safe than sorry. And yes, Dr. Pepper Dragon, in that case, is contained by merch because that is a great way to contain that particular anomaly. So yes, in that case, it's a great idea to make the merch. Jeremy, thank you for donating again. 5 sages of 5 ages come together. The child of the stars returns to earth. 12 shall stand, 1 will fall, as the fire of ruin returns. All right, this is a bit of a prophecy thing you got going on here. I think we need to take this over to the prophecies department. I feel like this is dawning to be something pretty serious you've got going on here. 5 sages of 5 ages. That tells me that we're not just going to get to use any pilots. They're going to have to be special pilots. Do we have to get time travel involved? Do we have to pull people out of time to pilot this thing for the ultimate battle? God, that's going to be so annoying. Just another Tuesday at the Foundation, I guess. Do you think it's okay to just listen to audio logs when enjoying SCPs? I love having someone read it like a report that we're covering. Lemon, I think that is a perfectly great way to take in SCP documents. Sometimes when you're on the road and you can't read because you're driving, put on an SCP document. Sometimes you're very sleepy and you just want something to listen to with a consistent tone to go to sleep. Put the SCP documents on. You'll learn them in your sleep through osmosis. That is a great strategy. If you can't see it all, that's a great reason to listen to articles. There's so many good reasons to listen to SCP documents to supplement your SCP document requirements. Drowsy, thank you for donating again. How is anomalous med info distributed / integrated for public safety? Vaccines, prevention. A cold was probably considered anomalous at one point. Well, what you're looking at here is sometimes, like the Men in Black do, sometimes we will develop a medicine that is in fact anomalous and then sell it on the market to cure an anomalous disease that people don't know about being anomalous so we can eradicate it. And so sometimes we have to use these back channels to not reveal the secret of the veil to the general populace. So this is done through several shell companies, pharmaceutical companies. I mean, think of pharmaceuticals as a P word. How many super cool pharmaceuticals do you think there are? Sterling, Carter Pharmaceuticals. No, there's already Marshall Carter and Dark. Either way, I don't know which front company we've got on the pharmaceuticals department. But, I mean, hell, we need to have enough anomalous pharmaceuticals to counter whatever Dado's cooking up. So, yes, we have a lot of situations where anomalous pharmacology is necessary to counteract anomalous diseases. Now, obviously, what people think is anomalous and actually isn't, we have to be careful with that. Because yes, maybe people thought getting a cold or getting measles was a sign from God that you've done wrong, but that's silly, and we know that's silly. Also, you can look into the explained SCPs for numerous diseases or matters of physics that we thought were anomalous when we discovered them, but they turned out to just be normal once we got there. So that is a case where we need to kind of tread a line where it might be anomalous, but better safe than sorry, and then declassify it when the time comes. There's a lot of routes you could go down with this line of questioning. Dihydrogen monoxide, thank you for donating again. Why am I able to open portals to various liminal space pocket dimensions? Who gave me this? I too wonder who gave you this. But, I mean, don't look a gift horse in the mouth. Don't look a gift horse in the mouse either, I guess. But take yourself over to medical, get checked out, see if there's a source, something that we can find, because we don't want this getting passed around willy-nilly to someone who will use it irresponsibly. And, yeah, maybe we can reverse it. Maybe we can use it for Foundation goals. This could be a good thing. Just make sure it's not going to cause you any problems. Jeremy, thank you for donating again. Child of Stars falls. Child of Stars falls. The light ends. Darkness rises. Death, war, and end of light war. Fallen gods rise and the land burns. Child of Stars falls. The light ends. Darkness rises. Death, war, and end of light war. Fallen gods rise and the land burns. You know, I was a lot more optimistic about this in the early stages of this prophecy. Starting to get a little iffy on this. I think maybe, is this something you're willing into being? If we like amnesticize you, do we stop this all from occurring? I'm gonna send medical to you. We might need to just put you out for a little bit and see if this clears this up. Moth Lover, thank you for becoming a Site 42 staff member by subscribing. And I very much hope that you do not have the username Moth Lover because you're some sort of Mothman chaser. Dr. Gray already has that covered. It's already annoying enough. What happens when SCP-999 is shot? Well, have you ever shot a bullet into water or gel? The bullet just slows down, but there's no organs, there's nothing there. I mean, you might hurt 999's feelings, but that's about it. Does SCP-173 taste like peanuts? You hurt me with your questions. SCP-173 is a concrete and rebar statue. At the very least, most of it tastes like concrete and or rebar. If you lick the parts that are covered in spray paint, then it will taste like spray paint. Unless the spray paint is thoroughly dry, then it will just taste like more concrete. And if you taste the part that is the leaking fluid of blood and feces, then you's a real freak. And you need to not talk to me, because I will vomit on this floor right in my office. Oh. Dr. Zen1, thank you for becoming a Site 42 subscriber. Welcome to our staff. I am a Site 42 employee, Dr. Sherman. Ultraman fan, that's good to hear. Walker, you just found an app called Mallow 2.0. What do you do? Well, number one, don't download it. Number two, don't download it. Number 3, you guessed it, don't download it. We don't need an upgraded version of Mallow running around. It might make them tangible or something. And that would be a bad thing. Sheeny, thank you for donating again. They really shouldn't have given that Mothman statue a backside like it has. I think it's given people ideas. Listen, I don't blame the creators of the statue because it is true that Mothman is caked up. I mean, we can't help the accuracy here. There's a reason everyone's chasing it. I just got a scholarship for 17K and just happened to see you. Love your channel. Congratulations on your scholarship. That is wonderful. I hope you get educated in something pretty darn cool. How did you contain 049 without him killing the D-class? Well, Moonlight, we very often have to put one of those neck rings with the long stick on 049 with multiple people holding it. That way we can keep 049 far enough away from staff during transport to keep them out of arm's length and therefore safe. Beyond that, 049 can just be locked in a cell. That's not entirely difficult. And in the first place, as Dr. Zen1 points out, 049 showed up willingly in the first place. It's only after it showed up in Ransom Test and killed Dr. Ham for no good reason that we decided it needed to be more aggressively locked down. Jerk. No, I'm not going to be mean. I'm not going to be mean. 049 is cooperating with the Mobile Task Force right now in return for access to the gender switching stone. So it's okay. We're being nice. Yif23, Siren Head is not an SCP. It is a Trevor Henderson creation. It is anomalous, though. It is a big, spooky monster with a siren for a head. So it is anomalous. It's just not an SCP because it's not on the SCP database. Now, Siren Head, the boat with a figurehead that is a classical siren that lures sailors with its song, that is an SCP. But same name, different anomaly. Jeremy, thank you for donating again. The sky goes dark, the sun goes dark. As light dies, shadows rise. The dark consumes, the light all fall. To the dark king's rise and all ends. You know, the problem I have with prophecies is sometimes you get some decent rhymes going, and then they just stop rhyming on you. I mean, all of this poetry and prophecy, and they need to get an editor to take a pass at this because they were so close there. I mean, it's still got bars. I'm not saying it doesn't got bars. The prophecy has bars. I just wish it were. And who am I? I'm not in the prophecies department. It's not my place to criticize the old gods and their lack of a proper rhyme scheme. And hey, at least it's a sky goes dark apocalypse and not a day breaks apocalypse. Do you give 049 toys or something to keep it busy? Well, before its increased security, we let it test on corpses and animal testing for its pestilence research. And we gave it an allotment of D-class personnel as well. But after the Raymond Ham situation, security was tightened, the experiments were revoked. But since it has changed its tune, its privileges have been slightly increased, but not too much. We're still got to be cautious here. I had a thought, what would happen if you get infected with 610? Is it possible to get cured by 049? So if you got infected with 610, you would be a flesh monster pretty soon. Meanwhile, 049's cure would turn you dead and into a zombie, so not particularly helpful for your already dying scenario. 049 knows a lot about medicine, but doesn't do a lot to help people when it comes to that side of things, typically. If the witch from Left 4 Dead is an SCP, what class would it be? The witch would be a Euclid class anomaly, because we could shut it in a room, and as long as we didn't look at its face, very SCP-096-like, we could keep it locked down. That seems legitimate to me. We'd have to feed it. We need to not look at its face or get too close. We'd have to work out a system of getting food in there from a distance. We could use some plates on sticks to like push it from a far hallway. I mean, they are zombies. They don't necessarily need to eat either, so that would make it even easier. So yeah, I'm going to go with an easy Euclid. Little monster. Remember when a certain chinchilla breached containment? I only know because of an audio recording. Oof. Yes, George the chinchilla in its normal state is not too much of a problem, just a hassle. But, oh boy, once you tell it what happened to Saul, it becomes a problem. So we're not telling him. Researcher Evans doomed that world. Now we are going to not do the same. We learn from the mistakes of the other foundations. How many D-class are expended per week? Well, unknown. We don't do... Everyone thinks we're super reckless with the D-class. And depending on the universe, depending on the LOL foundation level of that foundation, sometimes they can be a little reckless. They'll run out of D-class. It's not like there's that many death row inmates in the world. The foundations that use clones for their D-class, they can be a little more liberal in their use. I mean, cloning is very resource intensive, so it's not that much, it's not cheap by any means to clone a bunch of humans that are intelligent enough to run tests. I'm Jared. Do you have a portal gun? Yes, it's very nice. Shadows rise, light falls, good and evil is none. Well, that does sound like the end of everything. That's a problem. SCP me. Hey, SCP-3999, please, I'll give you $10 if you don't capture me. 939s do not understand the concept of currency. You're going to get eaten unless you run. Dark Fire, thank you for your first donation to today's stream, I believe. Or second? Your second, okay. You know that SCP-2316 and Class 76 are connected. Yes, I did know that. I am familiar with that, although I have not dug deep into the Class of 76 lore. I do know that 2316 is related. Recognizing the bodies in the water is a problem that way, as well as a couple other anomalies. Sean, thank you for donating again. Dr. Sherman, I know you don't get to leave the site a lot. Do you want me to put your name first on the housing list? It's a first come and first get kind of deal because it's based on seniority. You know, the site director suite is pretty nice on site. I'm good. I've got some pretty good amenities. It's, you know, it's good to be the king. Zane does TikTok. Dr. Sherman, I'm new and I have a few questions. Well, I have a few answers. Have you got something from the SCP vending machine? Yes, Yahoo. I have gotten the vending machine when it makes its rotation to our site. We grab a bunch of stuff. Very useful. Lewin the Seawolf, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a candy bar on your way past the commissary. The only bad part about SCP-028 is that it's in Michigan, otherwise I'd love to see it someday. Am I familiar with this anomaly? The number's not ringing a bell. Knowledge. Abandoned storage yards outside of a copper mine. Detectable presence of any kind are not there. The effect occurs within a 2.1 meter, 7-foot cube around what is commonly known as the center. Scanning and testing in that area show no abnormal readings. Entering 028 are struck by total and complete knowledge of a subject. This knowledge is thus far completely random in both size and usefulness, sometimes goes unnoticed for extended periods of time. More profound knowledge generally has a stronger effect, with some expunge cases. This effect can be experienced multiple times by exiting and re-entering, can result in increasingly strong migraines and dizziness after 2 exposures. Every phone book entry for New York City in 1998. How to redesign the internal combustion engine to run on human blood using only pre-existing parts. Note, pardon. Full redesign takes 4 hours and runs at a higher efficiency than gasoline. Location of keys for a Buick LeSabre. The proper method of care for a mole rat colony. Origin history of 12 SCP objects. Note, the main expunged. Family history of the Blackthorn family, located in London, England. Geological structure of the Earth beneath Greenland, including several unknown caves and expunged. Wow, that could be fun and interesting. That's pretty neat and very useful. I'm sure since this, we have probably have a policy of sending people to at least visit it once to gain some knowledge to help them in their Foundation career. On top of which, good job, Dr. Gears. That's a Gears article. Nuke Wizard, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a Nuka-Cola Quantum on your way past the commissary. And while I'm at it, Sparkyverse, welcome to subscription to Site 42. Welcome to staff. What SCPs would you take home if you could to make your life just that little bit easier? I get 5 SCPs to take home? I want access to... You know what? Give me permanent access to 458, the Infinite Pizza. I get 294, the vending machine for liquids. I get SCP-420-J for fun. I mean, infinite food, infinite drink, and SCP-420-J. I don't think I need anything else, really. Yeah, Desk is saying add on Ben Franklin's Poor Richard to make wishes and bring Cthulhu to game with. Yeah, that tracks. That's a good party. I think I would pick Jeff rather than Cthulhu, if only because Jeff is chill, and Cthulhu comes with those cultists who are stalking him, and they would really harsh the buzz. Site 106, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a coffee cake on your way past the commissary. Hello, sir. Are there any sites in Florida? Any other sites in Florida? Well, let me take a look in the database. Ow, that's bright. That was unnecessary. All right, so 6250 is an anomalous, partially physical suburban area originating outside of consensus reality. That is a Florida location. Around Testimony, Florida. So that's an anomaly in Florida. (2147) is a section of the Florida Everglades. (2558) seems to be a church in Florida. Yep, there we go. I got plenty of anomalies. I'm not finding specifically facilities, but I'll give it one more go here. Let's check this page. Oh, they don't... They certainly don't make it easy. All right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to skip the code and look at the source. We're going to the source. 4. All right, show me. Where? Where is it? Where is it? Okay, this is site number 106. You were telling me about that one. All right, the problem is I can't find the other ones. Where are you? There seems to be one more site in Florida, but I can't seem to find it. Frustrating, frustrating, frustrating. I have to do this the old-fashioned way. Michigan, England, redacted, 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 redacted. Santa Clara Valley, California, Sacramento, Columbus, Ohio, Soho neighborhood, New York City, redacted. Banascantha District, Gujarat, India, Northern Ontario, rural Tennessee, Central Colorado, Seabreeze, North Carolina, Boston, Germany, Tokyo, Vegas, Western Australia, England, Ontario, Black Rock Desert, Pennsylvania, data redacted, Forest Park, Saskatchewan, redacted, Texas, Lyndhurst, Bloomington, da-da. I'm annoyed because I know there is one. I just got to find it. Where are you? And I'm so sorry. There's got to be a Florida site somewhere. That was Louisiana and Kansas and Arizona and Egypt. 106 is there. We know that much already. That might be the only one we've got listed on the database, actually. We've got those other anomalies, but it seems like it's listing 106 twice in my search. So that just might be it. It might have been listing 106 twice. All right, well, that was a big fat stack of nothing. But I'm glad we have an answer. I'm glad we learned something. Would you let the facility clone you for a 10% pay raise? Well, Lemon, no, because I have a feeling that if they clone me, they would do something to condition it in a way that I would not approve of, and then off me. And I don't need that kind of stress on my day-to-day. Lewin the Seawolf, thank you for donating again. How do you secure SCP-3000? Oh, we have a... You can read the SCP document for that. It's very clear. SCP-3000, the database entry. Oh, unless you're not level 5 security clearance. That might be why you can't see it. Okay, that makes sense. So yes, we've contained the area around the anomaly. So we patrol it with Foundation naval vessels. We don't let anyone in. We don't let anyone investigate the underwater there. We lock it down tight. And then we have a submarine that feeds the anomaly, gets the goo, and that's why the entity mostly stays there, because we're feeding it, so it doesn't need to go anywhere. We're basically sacrificing people to a god in this case, sort of. I did not mean for this man to go so deep into this. Site 106, this is what happens when you ask me a question. I do the work for you. Why isn't the entire state of Florida considered an SCP? Blackwater, in several realities, it absolutely is. In several realities, we just contain Florida. You don't let them out. You do not let the Florida men free. And so, with that in mind, Massachusetts is not real. Ohio, way too much anomalous content and weirdness. And Florida, just locked down. So, yes. R&D here. What are your thoughts on using miniaturized, containable gravitational singularities to contain SCPs like 096? No wall, no breach. That's my thought process. We know that 096 is possible of dragging the sun behind it, or literally moving the sun, which doesn't make sense, because if you're inside the sun, there's nothing to push on to move it. So how are you moving the sun in any direction if you're in the middle of it? So, with that knowledge of its capabilities, a gravitational anomaly is not going to hold 096. So I like what you're thinking on saving resources there, but it's just not a capability. Ghost Cowboy, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a slug of whiskey on your way past the commissary. Hey, Site 42, I've lost sight on 682 and 999. Well, 999, we're currently cleaning up that mess. 682 never got delivered to that person who wanted it as a pet. We had not finished the adoption interview, so 682 should still be contained. Unless something's changed in its status. I hope they're okay over there. Wolf VR and Terra the Gender Bender, hello to you both. What would Godzilla be considered if he was in the SCP universe? Ashton, Godzilla would be easily a Keter class anomaly. Oop, let's reload the browser. Easily a Keter class anomaly. And some would probably consider them to be Archon based on how they end up battling and containing other giant monsters. So either way, that's going to be a problem. Gus, thank you for subscribing to Site 42. Welcome to staff. What happened to your director status? Larry, I am still site director of Site 42. The only difference is that when I'm in the acoustics laboratory, which is where it's best to talk to you guys with the best audio quality so that you can hear me streaming for these office hours. When I'm in here in a black coat, it just throws off the lighting and the situation on camera. And so for ease of sight, I wear a white lab coat for the acoustics laboratory. That's all. Is there a list on the wiki of what sites have what anomalies? So there's not a full list, Junior Researcher HLG. What you want to look at is the facilities, the Foundation facilities page, where I was just looking at all of those SCP facilities I was listing and finding their locations. If you go there, they very often list contained objects and notable incidents at those sites. So, while it's not all SCPs or all sites, it is a large amount of them. So you can check out specific sites and what anomalies are contained there. Ghost Cowboy, thank you for donating again. I'm with Task Force 141, and the facility is in ruins. Ah, jeez. It's going to be such a pain to rebuild that, but that's their budgetary problem, not my budgetary problem, so, you know, their administration can figure it out. I'm sure the overseers will give them all the budget they want. Site 19 gets everything they want. They're just, oh, we're the famous site with all the big name anomalies, therefore everyone loves us and give us everything we want. Yeah, working out here in the boonies, doing our best. That's the Site 42 way. Dr. Sherman, can a D-Class become an SCP? I mean, it's happened before. Sometimes you test with these anomalies and they get on you. And sometimes you become anomaly yourself. Then they will have to be tested on their own with other D-Class. Grim Reaper, thank you for gifting a Site 42 membership to a lucky Site 42 chatter. Make sure that you thank Grim Reaper if you are the one who claimed that membership. You sound jealous, Dr. Sherman. Shh. Shut it. Shut it. Dr. Pepper Dragon, thank you for donating again. Security alert. Intruder detected in D-Class dormitories. Okay, that is important. Let's send security to check that out. My OC is anomalous. Should I be scared? She's in my house. Holy guacamole. I would be very worried about that. I think you should get out of there and get to where security can pick you up, because when it comes to anomalous OCs on the wiki, they are always, to my knowledge, pretty dangerous. For instance, SCP OC Do Not Steal. OC Do Not Steal is the code name for SCP-3450. SCP-3450 is a dangerous original character anomaly. You should be worried about that one. And then there's another one, SCP-OC Gore. Oh, I gotta switch the database entry there. Somewhere in the 2000s, there's an SCP that is an OC that kills you if you like writing gore stories. So it's like getting revenge for anomalous or for living SCP characters. I'm trying to find that. I know I have a reading of it. So I'm going to check there because it narrows the search. So on the playlists, on the Sherm's Great Skip Dictations Master Playlist, in case you want to go listen to all of the SCP readings we have produced for Site 42, of which there are many. Oh, swallowed some spit in the wrong tube. Oh, geez Louise. How far back do I have to go here? Okay. I believe it to be 3616. 3616. Yeah, SCP 3616 is an anomalous OC that kills you if you write violent stories about OCs. So either one of those I would run away from. I think you're in bad case at 3450 or 3616 are at your door, or most anomalous OCs are not a good time. I would get out of there. Hunter Phil, thank you for your first donation to today's stream, as well as being a member. Good to see you. Make sure to grab yourself a chili dog on your way past the commissary. Hey, Dr. Sherman, remember me? I've been asleep for a while, but I brought little Peep with me, and he wants to say hi. Do you know that we have gone this whole stream without anyone bringing SCP-729 to my attention? I spent all day vomiting, and now you're making this my problem? You bastard. I'm fine. Fine. Dark Fire, welcome to Site 42 membership as a level 1 researcher. We appreciate your service as well as your membership. Ghost Cowboy, thank you for donating again. Who gave SCP-049 and 053 phones? They're supposed to be contained in their facilities. And thank you, Site 42. You have my respect. Yeah, they're not... Well, 053? Why would 053... You must be talking about 035 because they're the ones who are friends. SCP-053 is not friends with 049. You must mean 035, and by that logic, no, they should not have any cellular phones at all. Well, 035 shouldn't. 049 is currently out on good behavior with the Mobile Task Force. They can have a wonderful radio going because they need that for the job. Jeremy, thank you for donating again. I remember it. The Beyonder can destroy any SCP. I'm looking into it. Are you talking about the Marvel Comics entity, the Beyonder? Oh, why is this so bright? Infinite dimensional, beyond dimensional entity. Yeah, it's the most powerful being in the multiverse until it isn't anymore. Narrations say that he possessed powers millions of times greater than the entire multiverse combined. I mean, yeah, this thing seems pretty big, so, it is possible that that thing could destroy most SCPs, but, narrative layers and all that garbage, if Marvel Comics is a narrative layer in our narrative layer, then its universal powers are trapped inside comic books. It can't ascend to our level, but we can descend to its level, and maybe it can ascend to our level, and then we all get a nosebleed trying to do the math. Power scalingers are exhausting. Do you have a favorite mobile task force? My thought process is going to simply be Mobile Task Force Kappa 5, codename Haughty Librarians. They are the task force that goes to libraries and confiscates anomalous books. Oh, by the by, I'm looking at the time. We are about 30 minutes until end of stream. 30 minutes until end of stream. You saw nothing. Memory Nightmare, hello to you, and I'm doing well. I'm feeling much better than yesterday. I am not recovered, but I'm not recovered fully, but I am feeling much better than I was yesterday. Hey, if all the SCPs had a massive battle, who would win and why? Well, if all the SCPs had a massive battle, the winner would very obviously go to SCP-6101, who is too powerful to contain and is the most powerful SCP. SCP-6101 is the most powerful SCP, hands down. It can tackle anything. And so there is no stopping SCP-6101. That is all there is to it. Take some SCP-500 and drink some Fountain of Youth water to feel better. If they would allocate me either of those, yes. But, they're, you know, limited access, this, stingy, that. Brian, I just told you, SCP-6101 would win the massive SCP battle because SCP-6101 is clearly the strongest SCP. There is no stronger SCP than 6101. Repelskits, are you a fan of Fortnite? I hate Fortnite on principle of what it is, but I can't deny that it's fun. And I have played it for a bit. I got into it for a little while. I fell out of it for a little bit, and then I got back into it in the Godzilla season. The Godzilla season was very fun. I liked getting Godzilla and doing Stomping Laserface. That was fun. And I have fallen out of it again, but I will probably have some more Fortnite time in my future. It's just a fun little chill your brain out game at the end of the day when you've been busy. Desk would like me to inform you that the very best of all mobile task forces, #1 can't be beat, is Dr. Alto Clef's bisexual stripper assassin squad, known as Mobile Task Force Lambda 2. Mobile Task Force Lambda 2, codename Dr. Clef's bisexual stripper assassin squad. So, yeah. Honestly, I can't top that. Dr. Sherman I ran into a Hispanic child with a bowl cut with an anomalous bag and map. What level of amnestics should I use? Listen. I know the temptation. This one is actually Archon. I mean, it's actually Ticonderoga. You're not going to be able to contain it, because as soon as you try and take those things, it's going to say that swipe or no swiping thing, and you're going to be unable to do it. I don't know how. We don't know how it remembers after the amnestics kick in, but it always happens. So just walk off. Just walk away. Dr. Pepper Dragon, thank you for donating again. Attention staff, please disregard previous security alert. SCP-008-J has wandered on site and has been temporarily detained by security staff. Oh, good, it's just Jeff. All right, well, I've got to go hang out with Jeff after this, because they won't have gotten rid of him in the next 20 minutes, so I can go say hi to Jeff when I'm done with office hours. Maybe he wants to play some Fortnite tonight. Noah, you watch my videos all the time. I'm glad you enjoy them. Very much appreciated. All the Shark Punching Center versus One Punch Man. Well, Blue Dragon, the Shark Punching Center are pretty good at punching. It's in their name. But at the end of the day, the Shark Punching Center staff, as well as their sharks-based anomalies, I have a feeling that One Punch Man would, in fact, one-punch them all. And if it's all the SCPs versus One Punch Man, then we do know that pataphysical anomalies have defeated One Punch Man. We have seen that in a death battle against Popeye. And so, while One Punch Man would do a great job against enemies on its narrative level, as soon as it faced a pataphysical threat, it would be done. Although, is One Punch Man really anomalous? I mean, it's just a dude who works out a lot. But I guess it's superpowers based on anomalous willpower in that universe, which is just a hassle. That many anomalies just spawned out of I wanted to be one. Can you inform Dr. Sherman that his dancing sunflower was stolen from my porch before I could mail it? Very sorry. There will be a delay. Oh, that's so sad. I'm sorry to hear that. I mean, don't worry yourself too much. I mean, I'm not going to put any pressure on you. You're sending a gift. That's nice enough as all. Just make sure you take care of yourself. Don't stress yourself out over it. Thank you. Ooh, chat is flying. Do you stream this to all sites or just the ones you want to? Oh, no, Junior Researcher HLG, this is a stream for all Foundation staff to enjoy. Even if there are certain sites that are annoying little whiners who don't deserve my broadcasts, they're still welcome. They're still welcome. Oh, Hunter Phil, thank you for donating again. To be fair, Doctor, at least I didn't throw the little guy into the cat-made dimension or whatever it's called. If anything, he's protected me from any possible SCP attacks and whatnot. I'm a genius. The cat-made waifu dimension is too good for that thing. The cat-made waifu dimension was a fun lark to torture every universal instance of SCP-049 for the crime of killing Dr. Raymond Ham. But for that thing, no. No, that thing, we need to do worse. We need to find the worst thing. The only thing we haven't done anything to it is because we haven't found the worst thing. Don't worry. We'll find the worst thing. And when we do, that fucking thing is going down. I would like to go to the cat-made world. I can take them all on. Jeremy, you gotta be careful. The cat-made waifu dimension is a lot. And remember, when you go there, you are cat-moded. You are cat-boyed or cat-waifued, whatever you're... And it's, that changes something in your head, man. It changes something up here when that happens. The videos of my time there are not pleasant. What is it like working in the SCP Foundation, Dr. Sherman? Well, it's like any other office most of the time. We're just sitting here, running around, doing science, trying to save the world. Heroes, you could call us. Many people do call us heroes. And they're not wrong. We're just doing the work. We're just doing the work to protect you all, to protect everyone. so that they can live in the light. We sacrifice, we die in the dark so they can live in the light. What could be more fulfilling than that? You know, yes, there's a fire every once and again. Yes, a shadow monster comes out of the walls and eats your face. But hey, you gave that face to protect humanity. And anyone who's serving face like that is a hero. Hunter Phil, thank you for donating again. You'll have to pry it from my cold, anomalous hands. Wait, anonymous hands. Wait, I said nothing. Did you mean anomalous or did you mean anonymous? That's two very different things. Is it anomalous hands or anonymous hands? We need to... Either way, you're not hiding that thing from me. Either way, this is happening. You can't stop it. Epic Fire Dragon, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself some Rice Krispies treats on your way past the commissary. Rice Krispies, they crackle like fire. It's a good gift. It's a good snack for a fire dragon. Hey, Dr. Sherman, just got out of surgery. Still waiting on confirmation of the site transfer to be approved. Oh, well, if you're on comms after surgery, you must be doing pretty all right. So, yeah, keep resting, take care of yourself, and we'll keep you posted on the site transfer. Ghost Cowboy, thank you for donating again. Hey, I'm back. You want a shot of whiskey? I've just contained the SCPs, including 682, with some help from Task Force 135. Hell yeah! If you did that job, we will have a shot when you get back to site. Indeed. And since you're some sort of ghost cowboy, I'm certain that just like the fabulous cowboy game that not enough people played, Gun, that the whiskey is not only going to be celebratory, but it will literally heal your wounds. That's pretty good, cowboy. The ant. What is that thing, and what did it do? Oh. Oh, boy. I hate to do this to you. I really hate to do this to you, the ant. But your assigned reading for this evening after we end stream in about 17 minutes is I need you to read the documentation on the database for SCP 729-J. And then you'll understand. Then you'll understand. I'm sorry to do this to you, but this is the things we do to do our jobs right. Hey, Dr. Sherman, is it good if the tree I planted keeps moving places no matter what I do? I also need to know if it's supposed to have hair and a face. It also keeps calling me slurs. Well, it sounds like you've planted an ant, and it sounds like maybe you need to put it in a box now, because ants are notoriously racist against human beings. I'm sorry that you accidentally planted an ant. I would get that cleaned up as quick as possible. We don't want any problems. Epic Fire Dragon, thank you for donating again. Yeah, had open heart. Ooh, that's serious. Man, I'm glad you came out of this okay. My word. Congratulations. Thank you for your service and whatever caused you to end up needing that. And I am glad to hear that you are recovering okay. Let's just say the Site 176 D&D campaign exploited my only fear. Weeping Angels love the pun. I'll ask someone to pick it up for me. Excellent. I am glad that you are going to recover well. I appreciate the punning, liking as well. Puns are the highest form of comedy. Everyone knows that. Dad jokes. More like rad jokes, am I right? Do you think we can use SCP-085, hand-drawn Cassie, to infiltrate group of interest locations? If I remember correctly, right now we have 085 on a kind of suicide watch. 085 is not really happy right now. So I think the next thing we might need to cure the depression before we try and get it in the field. It's not a bad idea. You just got to be careful about any undue stress on the entity at this time. If SCP-999 became a therapist, would he be good at it? Well, for one thing, SCP-3999 cannot talk. It is a slime with no mouth, no face. Thankfully, it does not need to scream. Otherwise, that would be a problem. And it can make gurgling sounds. If you can speak gurgle, maybe that would be useful for you. But most likely, I mean, we've talked about utilizing small doses of SCP-999 into a antidepressant. But that's as close to, I imagine, a therapeutic use of SCP-999, because it can't talk, so it can't really talk back to you. It's essentially the same as talking to your dog. Fox Packs & Co., thank you for your first donation to today's stream, and feel free to get yourself some espresso at the commissary. Well, as the old saying goes, more espresso, less depresso. Amen that. Cannot preach the good coffee. Ooh, desk. That is an interesting secret. Dang, bro, I really wanted a tree, but I'll box it up as soon as I can catch it because it's really fast. That's very curious. Ents are not typically known for their speed. Huh, might be a new subclass. Could be another entity altogether, of course. Well, yes, get it contained. We'll get you a normal tree. I feel like that's a fine compensation for you catching it, so just catch that thing first. What would happen if Bill Cipher from Gravity Falls went up against all the SCPs? Well, once again, SCP of a pataphysical nature would narratively lair stomp Bill Cipher. Because Bill specifically has gotten into our world. So that is a narrative level jump. Curious. We need more research into that one. We'll have to be cautious. We could have beat it before it jumped, but now that it's out, that's a trouble. Dr. Sherman, you will be displeased to know that I just wanted Hunter Phil not to have it anymore. I did not want it contained here. What do you mean? What do you mean that 729- I'm fine. Fine. The first thing I'm doing after this stream is I am refuting this. Ha, Sheeny, you caught a yawn. Gotcha. Foxpax, thank you for donating again. Also, how would the Foundation react to the bigger bodies from Poppy Playtime? So, the real trick with Poppy Playtime as an anomalous situation, and let me pull up the database entry real quick. So the real trick here is that, to date, they are all still trapped in the facility, which we would have to use to our advantage. We would need to make sure that we kept them in there. That would be first and foremost. As long as we can lock down the facility, call it closed, call it condemned, keep the public out, and we could verify that nothing has escaped, then it would be a scenario where we would be sending in mobile task forces. They would get got by various anomalies. They would defeat various anomalies. And we would have to solve the mystery of what's going on in there. And of course, we'll know more as more chapters release, so we get the full story. But it's the same for the FNAF pizzerias, which is we would need to lock that down and not let the entities get out. That's first and foremost. Now, the problem with it in the FNAF side of things is that in the new movie, it seems like the anomalies are leaving the restaurants, which they don't do in the games. So that's going to change up containment procedures strongly. Clef is letting me know that for as many anomalies there are in the Poppy Playtime facility, there have only been maybe 2 escapes. So definitely Euclid class, because it's a factory full of anomalies. It's hard to contain. It's in a city center. But yes, that would be the scenario. We need to make sure to lock that down first. Zen God, I didn't know you live stream. Surprise! Ever since we hit 1 million subs, and a little after, I decided to try and do a little live streaming every day because there's 1 million of you now. I might as well come say hello and talk about the SCP lore. I can answer you questions to you guys a lot quicker here in the chat than I can at between videos and shorts. And right now we are on a streak, if I'm confirming this correctly. We have had at least 1 office hour stream since April 14th. So more than 20 days. Congratulations, us. Even when I was super sick, I at least got a small stream yesterday. So we're doing okay. We're keeping the streak alive, people. Oh, chat. We have 6 minutes left in the stream. And so this is the closing down period. Last questions are coming. What's your favorite song? Okay, so for those of you who don't know, I am a musician, a singer, so class partially a musician, as well as a ballroom dance instructor as my day job at the front company. And so I am exposed to music all the time. I don't really have a favorite song because there's just too many out there. But I can tell you that my favorite bands, for some reason, are all Canadian. I don't know why, but Great Big Sea is my favorite band for pop shanties. Love those guys. Bare Naked Ladies are my favorite for happy music or sad music that sounds happy. I love sad music that sounds happy. It's a weird thing. It's like, oh, this sounds really happy, but actually it's really sad. Carly Rae Jepsen is my favorite pop artist, again, Canadian. But on top of that, I also have a big love for both emo and dance club pop. I am in fact a basic bitch. No one is shocked by this. Foxpax & Co., thank you for donating again. I see. One small issue. I may have asked a few friends of mine to send the place sky high a few days ago. Call that off! We are not the Global Occult Coalition. We do not destroy anomalies because we can't research them anymore. So call off the demolition. We are not losing this chance for research. There's so much we can learn there. Jack Lupin, thank you for what I believe is your first donation to today's stream. And if that's the case, make sure to grab yourself a chicken pot pie on your way past the commissary. Is it possible for an anomaly like Mallow to become a physical entity and allowed to become a researcher? So we have not found a way to physicalize a Mallow entity. If there were a physical entity that, through good behavior and loyalty to the Foundation, got allowed to work for staff, that would be a secondary thing. But we have not been able to physicalize one to my knowledge, nor have we been able to train one to talk in a way that we can understand. I think someone did something with sign language in a story once. But it seems like a very long shot right now. Eclipse Boy, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself a dark chocolate waffle on your way past the commissary. Has the tree screamed yet? No. And it gave me a concussion the other day. But once I'm recovered from that, medical clears me, we're going back in. It will scream. Do you recognize the bodies in the water, Doctor? Osara, I may have a concussion, but my cognitive resistance value is just fine. I don't recognize any bodies, and y'all don't either. Right? Right. Fox Packs & Co., thank you for donating again. I didn't mean literally, just in the eyes of the public, so people will believe it's destroyed. Relax, it ain't actually going boom. Do you have some sort of memetic cognitohazard, info hazard that makes people perceive this as to having been destroyed or exploded? And first of all, that can come really in handy. I'm actually kind of interested in this technology you guys are working on over there. The problem, though, is that if we do that, people might try and rebuild on the site because it's, they think it's destroyed. So they might try and clear rubble that isn't rubble. That might not be a good idea. I don't know. We need to test the viability of this on a less dangerous anomaly first. Epic Fire Dragon, thank you for donating again. I am an anomaly that is a researcher, Dr. Darkstar. Well, yes, Doctor, we all know that. And yes, we've talked in the past about how anomalies are allowed to become staff members and researchers with proper good behavior and loyalty to the Foundation and all that. It's just a matter of, and of course, if they're qualified. But it's a matter of we haven't been able to find something like that for a Mallow entity yet. That's all I was saying. Fox Packs, thank you for donating again. More like I have friends with someone who possesses a trait of fear, which has all sorts of abilities to mess with the minds of people. Well, that seems useful. Again, has this been tested to viability with anomalies like this? I don't know how your team handles this. Every team has their different crews. So you'll have to fill me in on the documentation with you guys' tests of this anomalous purpose, because this could be a game changer. SCP-999, thank you for your first donation to the stream. Where did you get money? Grab yourself some Skittles at the commissary, little guy. All right, we have reached the end of stream, so it's time for me, as always at the end of stream, to tell you guys my favorite SCPs. Now, of course, I'm not going to tell you my favorite SCPs are the SCPs I wrote. That would be cheating. I love my SCPs. My SCPs are available for you to read at the Sherm's SCP author page and Site42 Hub on the SCP Wiki database. So if you want to read the stories I wrote and or contributed to, you can go to my author page. And as long as you're there, there's some support links. You can join the Site42 Patreon. You can become a channel member here on YouTube. You can give a one-time donation through Ko-Fi. You can... My watch set a timer for the end of stream very conveniently for me. I didn't know it did that. Anyways, you can donate to the Ko-Fi for a one-time donation. You can buy some merch. Or you can just, like and share the streams and watch and view and all that, because all of these things help us make bigger SCP content and better stuff and help us provide support for other SCP projects that are in the works. So thanks to you guys, we're able to do bigger and better things. We appreciate it greatly. Now, my favorite SCPs, in no particular order, are SCP-3999, SCP-3043, SCP-008-J, SCP-Spooky-J, SCP-5031, SCP-5175, SCP-5320, and with a big content warning, SCP-8980. That one's messed up. One more time, too. 3999, 3043, 008-J, Spooky-J, 5031, 5175, 5320, and 8980. Huge content warning on the last one. So with that, it has been a pleasure office houring with you guys today. I hope you had fun. I hope you learned something. Be safe, be well, and as always, secure, contain, protect. I'll see you in the next video. My baby wants a Birkin. She's been telling me all night long. Gasoline and groceries. The list goes on and on. This 9 to 5 ain't working. Why the hell do I work so hard? I can't worry about my problems. I can't take them when I'm gone. 1. Here comes the 2 to the 3 to the 4. Tell them bring another round, we need plenty more. 2 stepping on the table, she don't need a dance floor. Oh my, good Lord, someone pour me up a double shot of whiskey. They know me and Jack Daniels got a history. There's a party downtown near Fifth Street. Everybody at the bar getting tipsy. Everybody at the bar getting tipsy. Everybody at the bar getting tipsy.